Hello everyone, and thank you for stopping by. In this video, we're going to be looking at the game Manor Lords, and we're going to be looking at some of the changes that are coming, as well as some of my thoughts on the game currently, how it is now. So the game came out April 26, 2024, and it came out as early access game, and it was really hyped up, and a lot of people were really looking forward to the game when it came out. And when the game came out, it was really good. A lot of people were enjoying it, and it was a lot of fun, and people were it was really refreshing to have a new game out that was a good strategy game that actually was made by somebody that enjoyed medieval history. The game started out with a solo developer who was really passionate about the game, and he was working really hard on it, but lately he has expanded his team and he has a lot of people working with him, as well as he's partnered with Hooded Horse Studios. The game was announced in July of 2020, and it took us 4 years before we released any sort of game, except for a demo that we had a few years ago that was kind of bare bones. There was no combat in it or anything like that. But the game, when it came out, was beautiful. The game had excellent designs. It was super moddable. As you can see here, I'm playing a Shrek leading an army. And this video I show is on my channel where it's a river battle that I had. It was really fun to do. For me personally, I enjoy the cinematics of games, and this game delivered. Like you can see here, just how beautiful the game looks. You just got archers sitting here on a hill. You have your infantry up front, and the game looks amazing. And if you're just walking through the town, you feel like you're actually walking through a medieval town. And the game was just fantastic. When the early access for this game came out, the Steam ratings for this game went up to 90%, which is really good for a new game, especially a game that's like pretty early access and it doesn't have full features in the game implemented yet. But now, a year later, the ratings have dropped down to 77%. And 77% is still really good, but why is the ratings dropping so much? And part of that is what we're going to be discussing in this video, as well as just some of my general thoughts on the state of the game and how the direction it's going. I will also be going over a post that the developer made of some changes that he's coming with the next update that he's working on. So anyways, let's get into my general thoughts about the game. So my first thoughts I've kind of already discussed, where the game's just beautiful, and it kind of puts you like in that scenario where you feel like you're in a medieval town, and you're just it's really enjoyable to look at, like visually. Like you can see this battle looks pretty awesome, especially like with the river. You got arrows flying. It's just really enjoyable from a cinematic point of view. And this was before they moved over to Unreal Engine 5, so the graphics and the beauty of it has only gone up since this video. Like I said, this video is older, so this was before a lot of those updates. And besides that, the gameplay is really decent. It's really fun to build your cities, and I really like a lot of the mechanics that the game implements, like how the burrages, when you place them down, you can place them down in like neighborhoods type thing. And I really like that. I really like the city building. It's fun to build a massive city and just kind of make it function and make it pretty. And it's also fun just to walk through it as you're in the Lord view. That's one of my favorite things to do. And there is an off-screen Lord that does come through and kind of mess with you every once in a while. But as of right now, there's no Lords that you're like facing, no other villages. It's just your village. And I feel like that's something that needs to be changed pretty quick. But it does look like he is working on AI with that. And I will be going over this article more, but that is from that article, this picture I have up right now. But one of my biggest issues with the game right now is it gets really boring after you've faced the Lord once and you've beaten them one time. Because after you've beaten them one time, you already know that you can beat them the next time, that he doesn't really get any harder the further on you get in the game. And there's just like also other strategies you can do, like hiring all the mercenaries so he can't hire the mercenaries like preemptively. And I don't know, it just kind of gets really stale late game, and they need a lot of more late game mechanics for this. I should also mention that in this battle, I do have a mod to make the battles bigger. They don't get this big in the base game. Like I probably have maybe half the units if we're lucky, which hopefully we will see that implemented into the base game, because like obviously the game can handle it. I mean, mods have had bigger battles than this one and they run perfectly fine. So hopefully that will be fixed in the future. There are a couple like AI pathing issues, but he's working on those. So I'm not going to gripe about that too much, because he's at least working on that. And like I said, I'm not going to complain too much about like not having AI cities in the game either, because he's working on that. So I'll give him a break for that. I say him. the studio at this point. It's not just one person anymore, but I will give them a break at this point for those things that they are working on. But with that being said, the state of the game right now, it is kind of gets boring after a few hours of gameplay. And I mean, the game's still enjoyable. I don't want you to take that the wrong way. It's just late game. The game gets kind of stale. You're doing the same thing over and over again. If you want to take a new region, you got to go conquer the Lord one time. And like I said, after you've done it once, it's easy. So you don't really, it's not really a struggle anymore. And once you do take like a new region over, you're just starting over. You got to like just rebuild your city again. You're starting pretty much starting a new game. And granted, a lot of people might enjoy that. But for me, I like to have like progression in the game. So when you get to that point where you're just starting over, okay, build a new town. And then when you do that, you go and build a new town. And then when you do that, go build a new town. And it just gets repetitive and old. And I hope that there becomes new mechanics for late game later on, which he is working on some. So hopefully those will be implemented soon. But anyways, let's move on to stuff that I hope to see in the future. And some of this stuff he might be working on, or he maybe even announce that he's working on, but it's still stuff I want to see. So I'm going to mention it. The first one is the AI controlled towns in each region. And I want to expand on that because I know he's already working on that. But with that, I'm hoping that he is adding like more resources and more like tradable goods. And they do have it to an extent already, but you're just talking like berry bushes, animals, and some places have fish, some people don't. Some have iron, some don't, some have clay. And I want more stuff like that, but maybe on a bigger scale. And then have these AI villages that you have to trade with. And they could kind of add more like to that where you can be like friendly with your neighbors and trade with them and have kind of like a mutual agreement. Or maybe you could like raid their caravans and trade stuff and just kind of be like a bad neighbor, and just like adding more stuff like that. And another thing I hope they add is like if they add those AI towns is you'll be able to like negotiate alliances with them to be like, oh, if we get attacked, we'll support you, and having stuff like that. And then maybe eventually once you like have a big enough alliance or that, you can go against the king, because there is an off-screen king that you all, the only interaction you have with the king right now is you pay taxes to him. And I don't know what happens if you don't. I've never tried. I haven't really seen anybody talk about it. I don't think anything happens, but like if you don't pay taxes, maybe the king will send an army after you. And I think that'd be kind of fun. And then you got to like call your allies and try to fight him off. And they just have so many directions and go with it. You get my idea. The next thing I'd like to see is better combat. And what I say by that is like the animations are kind of just bare right now. I like to see more like combat finishing animations, and they do have a few in there right now, but they're just kind of few and far between. And I know this is going to sound bad to a lot of people, but I hope they add an option for blood and gore, just because like I don't know, I like the realism of it. Like I don't know, that's one of my favorite things about Total War is just like looking through the battlefield and just seeing the kind of mess. And I don't know, maybe that's dark of me, but I don't know. I kind of just enjoy that kind of stuff. So hopefully they'll add more to that, and maybe like more animations and like having like catapults and more troop variations and such like that, which I assume stuff like that will be coming. It's just the progress has been really slow with the updates and all of that. And I think a lot of the problems they're having with like the lower ratings is because people are getting impatient with all that stuff. But like, I kind of see that as a double-edged sword. It's because, yeah, I want there to be new content coming out constantly, seeing more and more and more. But the longer they're taking on working on something, the better it's going to be, because they're actually putting more time and effort into it. So, like I said, it's a double-edged sword. But anyways, I can go on for hours and hours of stuff I want to see added to like a video game like this anyways in general. So I'm going to move into going through this article. I'm calling it an article. It's a post on Steam, but just want to go over it a little bit just to show some of the updates that are coming with the next update. But anyways, here is the update, well, the notes or whatever you want to call it. But I'm going to kind of skip through this. If you want to read it in detail, it is on the Steam page for Manor Lords. But as you see here, they're talking about they're expanding the team. He's getting help with art, design, and AI. And the AI progress, I've already showed a screenshot of this, but he's making it so that the AI can actually, because they have a lot of complicated systems with this game, so they're kind of working on making it so the AI can understand how the mechanics work. Records view, they're making it so you can see more like your trade records and stuff, which will be very interesting with the game because there's a lot of stuff where you sell a lot of stuff and you can lose track of it. So I think that'll be interesting. Approval rework, so they're gonna rework the approval. I mean, that's fine. Upkeep, many of the buildings will now require upkeep, which means the smithy will be needing a constant flow of tools, and deep miners will now need more planks. And that's like something that's like a realism thing, and I have no problem with realism. So all for that stone update. Yeah, so we're gonna be getting an update with stone. Right now, like there's kind of just stone bricks that are added to the game. Actually, maybe I don't know. I can't remember. Haven't played the game for a while, but there's like these stone bricks that are in the game that are pretty much useless. But there are stone bricks you can use, so don't get that mixed up. But there are some that you can like trade that you can't ever use yet, at least not to my knowledge. So yeah, they're gonna work with stone, add more to that. And this is where I was talking about the pathfinding. They're adding changes to the pathfinding. And they're also making it so troops can go on the wall. I don't know if this is going to show it. Oh, maybe not. But they're going to make it so troops can get on the wall. And they're working with that because they have a lot of pathfinding issues. And I did notice it before when I played last. I played with the river, the rivers and the lakes where you can fish. And I had a problem where they would cut down a tree, but then they couldn't get to their lumber mill because the lake was in the way. So instead of doing anything, they just sat there and did nothing, and I just wasn't getting any more logs. So pathfinding, it is an issue, but they're working on it. So I'll give them a little bit of a break for that. So if that means anything to you, here's a little animation of them showing the density. And it really becomes an issue when you have a big town like you can see. Oh, here's what I was talking about, where you can put troops on the wall. They are working on sieges and stuff, so that'll be very fun. Camera system, they're working because of the high peaks, they're reworking the camera. And progress rework, we're in the design phase, but it looks like we're almost there. Hopefully I can show you guys what we've done next update coming soon. I'm not exactly sure what this is, to be completely honest. I'm assuming like research. I don't know, like that's too small for me to even read, and I can't zoom in, so that's fantastic. So I have no idea what that is. UI, they're working on the UI. UI changes are always good. Okay, I say always good, not all the time. I'm gonna take that back, but as long as it gets better and they're working on bettering things, that's fine. I say that because my phone just literally updated, and I hate the new UI. So yeah, that'll hopefully be good. River fishing, they're gonna make it so your people can fish in rivers, not just the little lakes that they have. That'll be good. Castle rework, so they're adding more pieces to the castle so you can build better castles, which I don't know, wherever I put my castle, the people don't invade from that direction, and it ends up just being bad because my retinue troops are too far away from my town. I don't know, maybe my next town I might put this in the middle. But like the thing is, you don't build this until late game. So, well, not really late game, like mid game. So we'll see. I don't know. That's like I said, it's fun. You can like build it how you want. Do you want your castle in the middle? Do you want your castle on the edge of town? Do you want it like in the trees on the top of the mountain? Do you want it to look nice and pretty on top of the mountain, but then your troops can't get to reinforce your town very fast? There's so much you can do with it. And then making it so you can see like little pictures of the resource nodes. And that's it. This is an older one. But yeah, I just wanted to go over that. Anyways, that's all I really wanted to discuss about this game as of right now. It has been out for over a year now, and I just wanted to give some people some updates on what was going on, as well as just expressing some of my opinions on ideas that could be implemented into the game. But anyways, be sure to like the video and subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. Also, let me know in the comments if I should do another gameplay video or stream of this game, just showing some of the new stuff, because I haven't released any content about this game since they've made a lot of the changes. So if that is something you guys want to see, be sure to let me know. But anyways, be sure to like and subscribe, and we'll see you guys next time. Thank you.